I think we should play Two Truths and a Lie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, have you it's like an icebreaker, my old youth
Yeah.
pastor days.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'll go first because
Okay.
I've been thinking about this.
Okay.
All right. I punched a bull in the face.
You punched a what?
I punched a bull
A bull. Got it.
in the face.
I thought you said like a ceramic bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
I used to be in a breakdance crew,
Okay.
and I spent 3 weeks in El Salvador in the jungle.
I believe the last one. That's got missions trip written all over it. What was the second one?
Used to be in a breakdance crew.
I also believe that. I think the thing that didn't happen is you punched a bull in the face.
And you are wrong.
Really?
Yeah, I've never been to El Salvador.
Dang it.
I don't even know if that has a jungle. I just said that confidently. Yeah, dude, I punched a bull in the face. It was wild.
Tell me about this. What
Okay,
happened?
so I worked on a cattle ranch in Nebraska,
Yeah.
and one of the things that I did right before we were going into summer is we wanted to AI.
Artificial insemination?
yeah.
Yes. What a callback.
Yeah. So one of the things we had to do was separate the bulls from the heifers.
Yeah.
And this one stubborn bull, I was like on a 4-wheeler, and you guide him into the open gate, and the gate's like 15 feet wide. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
And this stubborn bull was like, get to the open gate and then go around. And I was just like, what the heck? So I would circle back around on the 4-wheeler, guide him to the thing, he'd turn around. And I was just like, all right, like after 4 times of this happening,
Yeah.
I like whipped around quickly and cut him off. And I just stood on top of the 4-wheeler, and I was like, oh, because you got to like be loud and scary to it.
You've got to be the alpha.
Yeah. And so it's like starts pawing the ground, and me not really knowing what to do in that moment, like panicked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, this thing's going to rush at me. I've like annoyed it.
And
Like,
your solution was to punch it in the face.
so I like super saiyan, like jumped off of the 4-wheeler,
Yeah.
like straight in the air, and came right down, and I just aimed for the soft part of its snout, and I just clocked it as hard as I could. And the bull turned around and went in the pen. And I just sat there, and I was like, I don't know if anyone will ever believe this story. And apparently, I am correct.
I did, honestly, wow.
That's the manliest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I think that's probably more manly than anything I've done. Gosh, what's the most manly thing I've done?
Well, before you go with that, I want to hear your 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, I gotta think of them. Okay.
See, I had an unfair advantage. I was thinking about it while you were setting up, so I could say my lie with a straight face.
Okay. I once got drinks with David Crowder. I can jump rope on a unicycle. And I'm an ordained minister.
I think you told me the story of being an ordained minister, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to say that the lie is the second one, even though I hope it's not.
The jump roping on a unicycle?
Yeah.
So I can.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or at least I could. It's been a minute since because I loaned my unicycle to a friend.
Do you have video of this?
I don't know. I could find it. The trick is you have to be able to really clench the seat with your legs.
I thought you were going to say cheeks.
That's not quite possible. The thing that hasn't happened is drinks with David Crowder. That one hasn't happened. Although I've met some interesting people, so I felt like that was like enough.
Yeah, it was good.
Sly.
Well, I have had drinks with David Crowder, so I was like, that's not.
Have you actually?
Yeah. Not like alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
I gave him a water bottle. I guess that's what I should say.
That counts. That counts.
Yeah.
So when I was early middle school, there was a friend from my church that always did he was like an entertainer. So he'd do balloon animals when I was a kid, and he would do host little parties and do magic tricks and stuff like that. One day he shows up at our house with a unicycle, unprompted, and he was just like, "Here, learn this."
And you being you were like,
I was like,
okay, bet.
yeah. And so it took about a week, 1 hour every day. And after about a week, I had it pretty good. And I took to it enough that my parents then eventually got me my own, and I continued to do it. A couple months later, we get a message on the home phone from this guy, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna be just riding some crazy bikes and stuff in the parade tomorrow. You should come, show up at this time at this place." And so I got to ride unicycle in my small town's local parade for 4th of July.
Heck yeah.
It was very fun.
I don't know, man. That's pretty manly.
I mean, it's a niche form of manliness.
Yeah, yeah.
But
like,
yeah.
The strength and the focus and yeah, man.
I got good at, like, I could hop upstairs on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's no punching a bull in the face, but that's close.
It's more of a slow burn.
All right, man. Let's hit that intro.
Let's do it. Welcome to Can You Change the Music? So good to see you again. It feels good to be doing this again.
It does. I feel like it's been too long, but it just like has been 6 extra days off of our normal recording schedule. So
Yeah.
we're like fine.
It's been pretty standard.
Yeah. We're here.
We wanted to do something special this episode that if it goes well, we may continue to do it because I think it's fun. We wanted to take some time and break down a video that we've done that we were really proud of or that we enjoyed, and talk about some of the things that stretched us and some of the creative thought processes and avenues that we went through to make it happen. So to kick it off, I'm sharing a video.
Yeah, I will be very, very honest. We had this idea, and we always want to be real with you guys.
That's the whole thing.
There isn't a video that I've made that I've been this proud of yet. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll show one where we can talk about learning opportunities and things like that. But like, there hasn't been a video yet that I've just been like, that's it.
Where do you? I want to camp on that for a second.
Oh, I want to watch your video.
We will.
Dang it.
Why do you think? Why do you feel that way?
Because I'm a perfectionist in some areas, and my taste is better than my skill set.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I want to be so much better than I am, and I see all of the inconsistencies, and I don't have the know-how, ability, or time to correct those inconsistencies yet. So it's just happening slower than I would like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually interesting. I think we talked about this in like episode 1, but you and I kind of, I feel like started at different places and have learned the opposite from the other, where like you're learning a lot of the creative fine tuning and how to make something look really good. And that was something that you saw in me early on. And I'm learning how to think more like a business person and get things done and see actual results,
Right.
which was where your strong point, like starting point was.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
In some ways, like you grew up around entrepreneurship, so you had like
true.
inklings in it, and I would say you've had really strong ideas too. That like one of the things I admire about you is how much risk you're willing to accrue. Like I've played my business a lot safer because I have like kids and a family. Maybe that's why, but I do think that, you know, when talking about creative business, entrepreneurship, and creativity, like it is really important to me still to hone in the craft of like filmmaking and be really good at it, because I want to be like, I think that's part of the reason why I'm doing this is like it's so yeah, I haven't made a project that I'm just like from beginning to end I'm like so pumped with it.
Yeah.
I've had projects where I like a certain shot that I've gotten, I'm just like super proud of that shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We maybe even could try a version of this where we bring a video that we've made that we don't really like. Like, it worked, it moved on, the process was fine, but we weren't super impressed with it.
I think I would show you, it's like the second edit I ever cut together.
Yeah.
It was something like when I first started getting into it and I booked the wedding that I was going to shoot, I told that story.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I need to practice like filming moving objects, because up to that point I'd only filmed me like preaching a sermon, you know? And so I just like 3 daughters, we went into our huge backyard and we had like a jungle gym playset thing in the backyard. And so like, they played on that and like played around and drew chalk on and that was the second thing I'd ever filmed. And it just was like this cute, like I go back and I watch that, not for like judgment or like, I actually really enjoy just seeing my kids like, and so I'm super happy about the fact that I made that video. I'm not proud of it from a like creative standpoint, but I'm like happy with it because it's just like, it kind of kickstarted me in like learning how to edit, learning how to cut things together.
Yeah.
And then I just like enjoy watching my kids because I'm a sap.
Yeah. I love that. Love that.
Cool. Let's jump into yours.
All right. So what I think is the best order to do this is to start with just a little bit of background and then play the video, and then we'll go through some of the logistical process.
For sure.
That way you have some context as to what what the video is supposed to be about.
And then you're going to put it up on so people like, so if you're listening to this only audio, maybe he can drop a link to the video.
Yeah, I'll be sure to link the video in the description if you are not in a position to watch it at the moment.
Sure.
Or listening on an audio exclusive medium. But yes, this one will be a little bit of a video forward episode.
So if you're on YouTube, you're in luck.
Yes, or Spotify.
Oh, Spotify does that? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I should know that.
Oh, yeah.
Dope.
Okay, so background to this video. So I was on staff at the church that we both worked at as their primary videographer. And we were getting ready for Easter, which is one of the 2 big ones that there's just lots of planning and all this stuff. And so I was in some creative concepting rooms, and we were trying to figure out what was the best way to, the angle that we felt like was being put on our heart and made sense with where things were at, that we wanted to kind of thematically build around. After a bit of conversation, the idea came up to tell the story that was kind of one of the cultural stories of the church. There was a story that the lead pastor had shared sporadically over the last 10 years or something. It wasn't something that was commonly shared, but every now and then it would be something that was brought up. But the idea was, okay, what if we haven't told this story in a couple of years. What if we center this around this story? Because it felt like it was something that he felt like God was putting on his heart for the culture of the church, and it changed a bunch of things and yada, yada, yada. And so what if we make that the central kind of theme of the day? And the way we start the service is opening up with a video that sort of artistically tells the story of this dream that he had had. And so that was kind of the creative prompt on the front end. So this video was going to be a creative way to tell this story as the first thing that happens for that Easter service. Let's play it.
Let's do it.
About 12 years ago, I had a dream that was from God, I believe. It was so vivid, it wasn't like any dream that I've ever had. It was like you're actually living it. I was back in my hometown in Ohio, and I was at the city cemetery. And in the center of the cemetery is this huge stone mausoleum. But it wasn't scary. There was a party that was happening. And in fact, it was a formal party, and all the men were in tuxedos, and the women were in long dresses, and there was a feast of food, every type of food imaginable. There was cake and balloons and laughing, and the mood was amazing, and limousines were like dropping people off. And I'm looking around at everything that's happening, and I'm like, am I the only person that thinks this is really weird? We're having a party in a place of death. What are we doing? And just as I'm having this thought, I'm called up front in my dream, and some things are said, And as I'm looking around, I'm seeing the faces of very well-known Christian leaders, and I won't name them for you, but you'd know them if I did. And they're all having a good time, and I look at that and I'm like, why are you here? Why are we here? What are we doing here? And in that moment, I woke up. For years, probably 5 years, I regularly prayed for an interpretation of that dream. I'm like, God, I don't know what that was. Nothing, right? For 5 years, nothing. And I was actually having a prayer time, not even praying about this. And I really sensed the presence of God. And all of a sudden, the dream flooded back to me. And I really felt a thought come into my mind that I knew was the Lord. My people think I'm dead. My people treat me like I'm dead. They celebrate me like I'm not alive. Tell them I'm alive. I'm alive. Tell them I'm alive. Tell them I still speak. Tell them I still act. Tell them I am the same God that parted the Red Sea. I am the same God that raised Jesus from the dead. I do miracles today. I am just the same as I was then. Tell them that and lead them into something that is alive. Tell them I'm alive.
So, a couple questions.
Yeah.
Was all of the effect looking things, were those practical effects or were those like CGI? Like, what did you do on those effects? Like, I specifically, like some of the things, like the curtains that went into like the graveyard scene, like towards the end.
Well, I'm going to say right off the bat, I'm going to explain how I did some of this, and there's probably going to be a bunch of people that are like, you went the long way.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I didn't know how to do a lot of this stuff. And so this was out of my depth in a lot of ways. I hadn't done a lot of artistic interpretation projects. I really hadn't done much with like VFX or anything like that. I did a lot of testimony stuff. And so it was very much like, okay, I know what I want to do, and I think I know a way it could work, and I would try. So all of that's practical. Nothing is CGI'd, anything like that. Conceptually, I knew I wanted to play with these kind of three spaces. One was clips around the church that I had captured over the years and capturing some extra for that end. And then artistic shots that are like telling the story. But I wanted to make sure that it didn't feel overly, like there wasn't too much exposition where it was like, I saw this thing and the shot is exactly that thing. Like I wanted to play with some vagueness. And also I didn't want to have any faces shown because I didn't want people watching to be like, I know that person. I wanted it to feel like you were, present.
It was funny because one of the shots looked like David Crowder.
Yeah, I think, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm snorting. I was like, we just talked about him. I'm like, the famous figures you would, like, David Crowder's right there.
Yeah. Yes, honestly. That was not on purpose. It was just, he was one of the people that was free. So then the other space was something interpretive and vague to fill in the gaps. Mm-hmm. Now, thematically, we were playing with curtains already in the rest of the visuals because we wanted to use like a metaphor for like wind or air or like the movement kind of thing. It was like the best way we could do is with these curtains. And so I was like, okay, I can play with some visuals of curtains in some creative ways to just cast the sense of this is a dream space. This is a little bit weird, right? And the best way I could think to do it was I got a couple different types of fabric, some polyesters, some just like straight up curtains. And I shot it in a room that had no windows, that was pretty large, that had a lot of open space. And I hung a giant green screen up and I lit it well. And then I hung off of like a C-stand, 6 or 7 feet in front of that. I hung this curtain. And I shot it at different frame rates, 120, 30, 24. And I had this giant lid from like a storage container just off camera. And I was like
Wafting.
Wafting it, trying to get different unique movements of the fabric. And I did it a bunch of times, got a bunch of different shots. And then I would, remove the green screen and soften the edges. And I used all those different shots and bits of movement, and I layered them in some creative ways.
So is that like how you got it to be a circle? Was like you
so,
moved the...
Yes. So I used After Effects. Now, again, I wasn't working with VFX at all. It was all practical, which meant I was limited by the number of pixels I had in each piece of footage. And I really wanted to make sure if I was going to do like zooming shots that you didn't get to the point where you just saw the pixels. I wanted to keep it as high resolution as possible. So I took each individual, composite of the curtain that was shot at 4K, and I layered them together. And so I had certain shots in After Effects, certain sequences that were like 16K, so that I maintained all of the resolution of all of the different pieces. So as I like blew it up, it wouldn't get like, you wouldn't see any of the pixel breakdown. So my computer could barely keep up with it because it was so much.
You had a long way around, but you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So like specifically because of the way that you worked those practicals,
Yeah.
you were able to layer in like the shot I was asking about where the curtains is going into the cemetery.
Yeah.
And so all of the shots, like none of that was stock footage. That was all you shooting those scenes.
I shot everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite shot in that whole video?
I really like... Actually, I know it. So it's at the dinner party shots.
Mm-hmm.
So to shoot the dinner party, I was like, okay, it needs to look like it's happening inside of that mausoleum space. And I don't know what location we could rent to make that happen. And so I was like, okay, this is a dream. You don't need a lot of background. So really, I just need to create a space where there is nothing past what's being shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so we took the main auditorium and we cleared out all of the chairs, or a lot of them. And I let the haze machine run for like a day. So the whole room was like really like thick.
And you did it on a Tuesdays.
Yeah, right. Where there's like no one there. And then I pointed a bunch of lights towards the camera so that you could see a lot of silhouette stuff and you probably wouldn't see what was past it. And then we had somebody who's just really good at like room design, floral things, table sets and stuff like that, in charge of creating something that looked like an elaborate feast. So they set all that up. And the shot, getting to what you asked, the shot that I like the best, there's a shot that's just like a dolly shot along the side, and there's some text in the background, and you can see like it's kind of blurred out, and it moves behind the items on the table. I hadn't done any dolly shots before. We had a small kind of dolly track that I had never seen used. I like found it in the equipment. I was like, oh, I want to use this for something. and so that was the shot that I used it for. And I did a couple different takes, and then being able to in post, make sure it was really smooth and actually put the text so it looked like it was behind. All of those pieces made it probably my favorite.
My favorite shot. So it's so much simpler.
Okay.
But like there's a semi-shaky, looked like a handheld shot of like the picture, like the lion in the right third.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just like really dreamy and soft, and like I thought that was sick.
Thank you. So, dude, it's like bringing back so many memories, because so many of the things I did for this video I had never done before.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
such as
so I shot all of those shots at a cemetery. I shot myself.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't stock footage.
On the 80 or 90D?
On my 90D. All of this was shot on my Canon 90D, just a DSLR.
That's wild. Because you have access to like
but I didn't know
cameras.
Yeah, they had Blackmagic Ursas, but I just didn't know them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew how to get what I wanted from the cameras that I had.
Right. Which is a PSA, by the way.
Yes. It's better. Like, good cameras are awesome, But if you know the ins and outs of a camera, that will get you farther than if it's a really nice camera.
And that sets us up actually to take a quick break and come back. I want to hear kind of the rest of your shots, and then what you just said. I want to finish our conversation today up on some of that idea.
I like that. Let's do it.
Cool. All right. So, of all of the things that you've made, and like you've made some really solid videos. Like I've seen your work now for a long time. Like you said earlier, like one of the things, like I come to you and ask you a bunch of questions because I really think that you've honed your craft well.
Thanks.
So why, like, of all of the videos that you've created, all of the things that you've done, why is that one the one that you chose to walk through?
Well, because I made it while I was on staff for someone rather than working for myself, I was able to say, I need a lot of time to try to make this happen. And I think it will be good, but I need time, which isn't so much a luxury when you get when you're working with clients for yourself, because you've set a budget.
It's never a luxury. If it is, then God bless you. Like,
right.
Tell me how.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think we had these conversations 3 or 4 months before I needed to have the video done.
Wow. Okay.
And so I was like, all right, obviously I have to do other work in between, but like I can say, hey, I want to try this. I think I'm going to need to buy this thing. It's like $100. And they, if they agreed with it, they'd go with it. Or I could say, I want to drive out to scout out this location, and it counted as my work. And so that stands out to me as the main video that I have done that I was able to just sit and say, okay, if I pulled out all the stops for myself, what would that look like? Yeah. And I had the capacity to do it.
So you're saying you had like complete creative freedom and
I mean,
within reason, but like also the means to execute that creativity. And, so it felt like a passion project.
Yeah. Like for instance, the voiceover of the pastor telling the story. In the first meeting that we had, several different people felt pretty strongly that we should record him telling the story. And I said, actually, we have archives of sermons where he's told this story. And I actually think that's going to feel more natural because he told the story to a room of people. And they weren't as sold on it. And so that same day after the meeting, I found the last time he told the story. I cut it up, paste it together and put music underneath. And that was my pitch for the video. And that's what we went with.
Nice.
And so on the front end, I think there was a sense in which he's like, okay, Jeremiah, he's got it. And so I think that bought me some creative flexibility to say, like, I actually know what I want to do. I think I can see it. And yeah.
So part of it too is just like earning the trust of people who are ultimately in charge of the project, like giving you the what's that, the runway to spread your wings. Yeah. Because like you said earlier, like you did things on that project you didn't even know how to do. You kind of like fake it until you make it.
Right. Like I don't know if I had really done a video since where I had a shot list of a narrative I was crafting, because most of the other stuff, it was an event recap video or it was a testimony. It was something like that where it's like we're working with the stuff. It feels, what's the word? Fabricated is not the right word, but it's
manufactured. It feels canned.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to tell a story here instead of I'm trying to put together the story that I just interviewed someone saying or something like that. So one of the big tensions that I felt was shooting content at a cemetery, particularly if I'm going to be just walking around with a camera shooting the mausoleum of somebody who's like, I was like, that just feels disrespectful. And the fact that I would be doing it for a church feels like an extra level of disrespect in a way I can't fully describe.
That's interesting because I feel the exact opposite about that. I'm like,
Really?
this feels like what this should be for.
Well, so I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this because a mausoleum is a pretty specific type of thing.
Right.
And
that was a pretty big mausoleum.
yeah, so you're not going to believe this, but within an hour drive, there's a mausoleum that is famously empty.
Nice.
No one in it. So I did a little research and I saw the article and I was like, what?
I'm going there.
That's literally perfect. And so,
for sure.
Yeah. So I went out there and so you remember the footages you're watching, there's like flickers and there's some distortions and stuff. I brought a couple pieces of like a clear plastic or plexiglass sort of material so I could use it as like pseudo lens flares in front. And so all of that stuff you see, the warping of the image was in-camera capture stuff too.
Yeah. That's crazy. So this kind of leads me now to transition to the thing. This is like a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Because I think, and I bought the hype too, like, and a lot of creative people do. This is a very big hot topic, and all of the, YouTuber guys will tell you like it's not about the gear, but then they always push gear, which is funny.
Yeah.
Which I totally get.
Yeah.
But you were able to tell the story that you were the most proud of with essentially the cameras that we're shooting this podcast on.
Yeah, these are the same cameras.
Canon 90Ds,
Yeah.
right? Which is, they're great cameras.
Yeah.
Are they full frame? They're not full frame, are they?
I don't think so.
I think they're
I literally had someone ask in the comments on one of the posts if we shot this podcast with anamorphic lenses. And I was like, I wish. Like, no.
Is it just because we're letterboxed?
It's probably the letterbox, but it's also these are the cameras that I have used for my entire career.
Right.
And when I got hired at the church and was given some budget to do some upgrades, these were the cameras I bought. And so I was like, I know these. I know they'll do exactly what I need them to do. And so I've gotten really good at manipulating the color science to be what I want. I've gotten really good at knowing what my settings should be to get the optimal image.
Right.
All of the things. And I think because of that, I've been able to use these cameras. The camera bodies are like $1,000. So they're not cheap, but they are not cinema cameras.
Maybe. Are they still $1,000 brand new today?
They've held their value pretty well as last I checked, but if they've gone down, not by a lot. But
hey Siri, how much does it cost to buy a brand new Canon 90D camera?
The Canon
Yeah.
90D will be available.
So,
Yep.
$1,200.
yeah, and that comes with the stock lens.
Oh, nice.
So I think the body itself is like a grand.
But like, because you knew the camera so well, you could focus on the creativity.
Yeah. I've used these projects these cameras on $6,000-$7,000 videos.
Right.
And I didn't have to rent extra gear, and the end product was awesome because I knew how to use them well.
And that's like the reason I asked, like you had access to Ursa's. You didn't do Ursa's because you would have had to focus on the menu and the features and the way you use the Ursa.
Yeah.
Which I ran into. I filmed like a worship night at the main campus, and I just wanted to use they have a red, right? Because I either used one of the Ursas or it was like
It would have been one of the Ursas. They don't have a red. You're talking about where we worked?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have
It was
a red.
so it was a big one, right?
Yeah.
It was like a cinema.
Yeah, it was. I think it was another one of the Ursas.
but-
Blackmagic.
I was so like, I'm using an Ursa or whatever I thought it was. I'm like, this is so cool, and I was so frustrated the whole night because
Really?
I didn't understand the camera. And finally, Brandon was just like, dude, just point it. Like, just stop.
Yeah, just pointed at something.
That was actually the first time I ever learned how to use the red lines for focus like assist.
Oh yeah.
Was with that camera. And then I was like,
Yeah.
my camera does this. Why don't I do that more? You know?
Oh yeah.
But like for me, I actually almost switched my ecosystem.
Yeah.
And because my wife she's a photographer. I learned on a Canon 80D.
Yeah.
And by learned, I mean like I watched YouTube and I set up the settings the way that Canon people told me to, and I just pointed it. But then
Yeah.
when I was looking at like for stuff that I was trying to do, Sony cameras were just so much cheaper. Like the low end Sony camera where you could still get 60 frames,
Yep.
1080p, like all that stuff. Like I bought a Sony A6000. It was the first camera I bought, and I bought it off Facebook Marketplace for like $300.
Yeah.
And for the first several projects that I've ever done professionally, it was on a Sony A6000.
Yeah.
When I just knew. And so like when I went to film school and they gave me a Sony camera, like that was another point where I was like, okay, I'm going to probably switch to a different camera system. But then they gave me an FX6 as part of my tuition package. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm just locked in.
Yeah.
But I know how to use
Yeah.
the Sony ecosystem. And the FX6, I probably use it the least out of all my cameras. I have an FX3 now, and that's what I use the most because it looks just like it's the same exact camera pretty much without some of the fancier cinema features.
Yeah.
But I use the FX3 because I know how to use it better than the FX6.
You know, it's funny. As we're recording this podcast right now, I have a red Komodo off on the side.
Yeah, sitting in the wings. He tried to sell it to me once.
I did. And it's not because that's not a nice camera. In part, it's because I don't need to, I don't need to use that much storage space for red files. But also it's just because like, you know what? I've got 3 of these DSLR cameras. I know exactly how to use them.
Right. And they function perfectly well.
Yeah.
Like, and they look fantastic.
Dude, I shot a video recently. I was really happy with how the look of it came out. The color
tattoo
grade.
video?
Yeah, the tattoo video. And I had a friend when we were catching up. He's also a videographer. I respect the hell out of him. He was like, "Did you use the red camera for that video?" And I was like, "Nope." With my DSLRs.
That's right.
I tricked you though.
So like, other than just like knowing the camera, because if you're first starting, right, like,
yeah,
obviously you want to upgrade and get a prosumer camera. Maybe actually, I know a guy, and we might be bringing him on the podcast someday.
Yeah.
The only other videographer within a 25-mile radius of where I live.
Yeah.
That I know of. He has a drone.
Yeah.
And then GoPros.
I mean,
and like I when I look at the videos he edited or that he's shown me, like, because he does it professionally, right? I never would have guessed that he was just using GoPros.
Yeah.
And I mean, he shoots them in the flattest profile that I literally think the profile is called flat on a GoPro.
Yeah.
Right? There's like normal and flat.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was chatting with him the other day, and like his camera movement, his framing, what he does, I'm like, honestly, dude, like if you didn't tell me this was on a GoPro, I never would have known.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what he got good at using.
Yeah.
And he wants to upgrade. And I think there's a level of like professionalism feel when you go to a client with GoPros versus even, Canon 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks a little more professional, but like if you're getting the job done, if you're solving the problem.
I mean, have you heard of the trope of buying a matte box for your camera just so
you can charge more?
Just so clients think that the camera's more expensive because it looks more impressive?
Yeah. It's like a $69 small rig attachment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I bought a matte box.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was going to use the filters and stuff, and I just never did.
Yeah.
And I just have a matte box sitting at my house that I don't use because I was like the trope, like, oh, you can charge more, like it looks more professional, and I was just like, that's stupid. Like
that sounds like you.
Yeah.
You're like, that's dumb. That's dumb. I'm not gonna do
I'm not gonna do this anymore. It doesn't even look that cool to me.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it looks so epic. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's harder to store. You got another thing to think about. I'm
It-
in and out, you know.
It works well if you've got a camera rig that's like always set up.
Right.
And there.
Or if you're actually going to use it. Like
That's true.
Like-
yeah, like for its intended purpose.
right.
Yeah.
Which I intended to, and then the filters for the matte box were like
They're expensive.
lenses.
Yeah.
They cost as much as lenses.
Yeah.
So I think that it's funny, like this whole conversation. It's going to be a forever conversation because you do need to invest in gear. Like we were just talking before this episode, like the C-stands you bought. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
they cost so much,
Yeah.
but like they make your job so much easier. Like,
Yeah.
And you're going to have them for forever. So it's like the gear conversation is an interesting one in our field because it's never going to go away. You're always going to need gear. You're going to always want to have stuff that helps you do the job more effectively. But it kind of stops there for me. Like if it's not helping you do your job more effectively, you do not need to buy it.
Yeah.
You don't need to upgrade your camera equipment just because you have the capital to do so or the money to do so. Like there are much better things that you could be spending your money on than just on the next best camera. And this is coming from somebody who has a little bit of gas. Gear acquisition syndrome. Yeah.
I've never
What?
heard that.
Really?
Yeah, never.
I don't know. I can't remember where I heard it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've got gas. Like I love buying gear.
Yeah.
I-
Oh yeah.
I'm saying this not as like a
I think the day I bought my red was the last day I can confidently say I was happy.
and you've been trying to get rid of it ever since.
Oh, it was just such a giddy day.
Right?
I was taking pictures of the unopened boxes.
Right. But like that's a
Uh.
dope camera. Like it's fun.
It is. It's very
like and that's the thing is like if you have the extra capital in your budget and you want something, I'm not saying don't get it.
Yeah.
Like if you want it, I bought an FX3.
Yeah.
That's a $4,000 camera.
Popping off, my dude.
And I love that camera.
Yeah.
If I had the choice to shoot with any camera in my arsenal, it would be that one.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. Like maybe that sounds hypocritical, but I also didn't start with the FX3. I
Yeah.
started with the 6000, and then as the budget increased,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm looking forward to getting to the point where I'm comfortable enough with the red camera that it becomes my preferred camera.
right.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why when I was thinking of switching economies, red was never a consideration, was just because of how many people like the user interface is difficult. It's like hard to. I don't even know where you put
Oh.
a microphone on it. Does it have an internal mic? It probably is
Mhm.
terrible. Like the Sony cameras, I have that handle and it's got 2 XLR imports straight to. Like it's just so.
Oh,
It
yeah,
is
that's
so
nice.
like
Yeah.
literally the Sony ecosystem is so like what it makes up for in color science. To me, every other feature about Sony is just so nice. It's
Yeah.
so easy to use.
Yeah.
And so obviously for somebody like me who's not the best at it yet, like
Mhm.
I will say that I'm improving.
Yeah.
I can see the market improvement, even like my color grading process and everything. But for somebody like me who's still only 3 years into doing this really as more than just like I did something.
Yeah.
Sony has been really easy for me to navigate, easier than Canon.
Yeah.
Like I go back and I took some pictures, did some headshots on my wife's camera because she edits any pictures that I take, my wife edits. And she's like, I'm not editing your Sony footage anymore. She's like, if I'm editing your pictures that you take, you're using my camera.
yeah.
And I was just like, I get so lost.
Yeah. I wanted to say one last thing about the video because there is
Oh,
one
yeah.
more shot
Say it.
that I really liked.
Bring it home.
Nice. Okay, cool. It's the last shot of the video. It's a very quick shot, and it took me the most time of any of
Okay.
the shots.
Remind me of what it is.
Longer than I needed to. So it's a final shot, full on shot of the mausoleum,
Mm-hmm.
and you see giant draping curtains along the side of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sick.
So those curtains were not there. It's the closest thing to a VFX shot I've ever done because I wanted to see if I could take the footage I shot of the curtains moving at 120, so they were extra slow, like they were, giant curtains, and I could put them in that environment and blend them in such a way that it worked and looked realistic. And so I did a whole bunch of tinkering with shadows, with color treatment, putting it behind certain things. But the final result, honestly, was really epic. I think it probably took me half a day of tinkering just to get that
But you know
shot.
what's crazy? I logically, like thinking back to that shit, I logically know that those curtains weren't there in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But I never would have thought about, like, that's how seamless that feels to me, even like thinking back of it.
Yeah.
Like those are the things that I appreciate about you. Like the effort it takes to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like only people like us care about them probably. But like
Yeah.
I remember Quinn Sabanak, he was doing this video and it was like an announcement video, and there was like some outtakes that had happened,
Mm-hmm.
and from where he cut to where they ended up starting, everybody was smiling, but they were so upset by the end of it. Like the last take that we actually got, we're like, okay, we can use this one.
Yeah.
No one was laughing anymore.
Okay.
And so he like cut out on their faces, like where they're smiling.
Yeah.
And he superimposed it onto where they're frowning. And like transitions slowly to them, like they're smiling, and then he made it look like they were going into a scene, and there was no B-roll on this video.
Yeah.
And so he was able to like visually make it look like they went from, instead of like a jump cut, like a hard, like,
Yep.
I'm smiling, you can tell we're in a different spot, and we cut out some stuff because now everybody's ticked.
Yeah.
And he made that smooth with like literally like masking out their smile and putting it on their face.
You have to hit this point where there's this law of diminishing returns where you're like, is this worth it? I've been there.
I don't know if it was, but I was so impressed.
There was a time I was recording a talking head, and I had one camera, and I wanted it to feel like one straight shot, and there was one part that I had to cut, and I didn't want there to be a jump cut. And so what I did, I tried using a smooth cut, or like a what's it called in Premiere? Whatever it is. It's just where it becomes an indetectable cut, but it didn't quite work. I mean, he was sitting there still enough that it wasn't going to be much of an issue. But what I did was I then created a mask over his face so his face could keep talking while his hands did the warp cut, and then made sure it was blended right. And so it was the amount of work I did. It worked, and you couldn't tell that there was a cut by the end, but it took so much time just to see when I'm like, law of diminishing returns. I should have just said,
Just
there's
punched
a cut.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have B-roll, I'm just gonna punch in.
Yeah. Do the YouTube thing.
Right.
I will say, circling back to the video, one of the things that I really liked was being in the room when it played and seeing a whole bunch of people watch it and applaud and be moved by it, knowing that none of them knew that I made it.
Oh, that is, yeah.
It was really cool seeing something I made move a group of people such that they all applauded and loved it. And I'm sitting right next to the people that are impressed by it, and they have no idea that I'm the one who made it.
That's wild.
There was something really cool about
that's-
that. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, it'd be really fun to be a stuntman where I could see that shot? That's me.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it. Where it's the work I've done is well known, but I'm not particularly well known. Something about that's been really
Randomly, that reminds me of the lady that sang "Never Alone," like from The Greatest Showman.
Oh yeah,
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 like no one realized that it wasn't the actress's voice; it was some other lady's voice, and then she
yeah.
auditioned for America's Got Talent or something.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
You should watch that. It was kind of an epic audition.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. That's dope.
Yeah, let's wrap this episode up. It was so fun to see just your thought process through that and the conversation of gear, which we haven't had up to this point.
Yeah, not really.
I want to as we end, just kind of close that out with saying, you know, what everybody always says, like, if you just have even an iPhone and you want to be creative and you want to make this thing work. I've been to events where videographers only have iPhones and I've seen the things they create and they're amazing.
Yeah.
Don't let what you don't have stop you from trying. Give yourself the freedom to grow into more gear and better things and just start. Just do it.
Yeah. I love that.
All right.
All right, fam. We'll talk next time.